Hey friends, I was jamming along to the old Still Time song Ted the Monster. Today it's popped into my head, so I thought I'd play along with it and figured I'd pass along some of the bassline parts, like the theory behind it, the technique, and like concept around the song. So I think to start, I'll start playing along with it, and I might stop and go as we go. And let's dig in. So it starts out with this awesome sound effect from Haircut. And live, I think we eventually were able to cue without any hi-hats or anything. It just jumps right in. So let's look at that chorus part. So this is actually, we don't have a lot of songs in Still Time repertoire that start with the chorus. And this is one of them, which is fun. It's fun exploration of new song patterns or formats, structures. And this is one of the songs that we wrote where one person came with a riff and we all jammed and collectively improvised on that until we had a full song. So usually with those songs, the initial chord structure didn't change. What usually changed once we got it into the jam space was the grooves. So you notice a couple different grooves on the song. The basic chord progression is G major, D major to A major, which is going down in fourths or up in fifths, however you want to look at it, which makes it kind of like nebulous kind of key-wise. I mean, yeah, you could argue different points for like what the key center is. Obviously, they're all just continue to go one key up in terms of adding sharps. So that's something to play with. The chorus is much more of an open feel. I'm usually playing off of, the guitars and drums and the vocal line. They're big, long, open phrases. John's playing the ride, kind of big open chord strumming, and like the vocals doom dom ba doom ba da ba da ba doo ba da dom ba dum ba. This is fairly long phrasing, so I'm just gonna like fit my way into that I'll do like some approach notes. So there I'm just like starting on the root, going to the major third, and then chromatically walking up to the next chord, which is D. So same thing, now I'm at A, and I use the major third. And the fun thing about this song is there are some opportunities to use open strings, with every chord in the song corresponding to an open string on bass or guitar in standard tuning. It looks a lot like that. So there I'm outlining and this is the nice of having the open string on a lower string especially. It allows me to keep the foundation, the root, alive for the band to support that lower frequency while also adding some notes on top of that note line. And I noticed this song too when I was playing along. This is both two electric guitars, both with overdrive, so there isn't like a huge need to put like a ton of low frequency stuff in. I feel like I have more room even in the chorus to be up an octave. Well, I guess there, but I feel like I don't always need to do the lowest G, the lowest D, the lowest A, especially the G. And especially if I'm adding the fifth here, that helps thicken it out too. Or even that, now get into power chord stuff. Let's keep playing along with the chorus with those things in mind. It's
night like back in the first or second grade. Heard some noises from the closet, and I said I'm not afraid. It was then I saw the monster, ugly face and big red eyes. Was gonna hide under the covers, but I could tell this one was nice. So we climbed out of my window, and I showed him
Okay,
all.
so now we're into the verse, and it really changes feels. So John goes over to the hi-hat, kind of like in a James Brown JB style type of beat. John and I listened to a lot of that. We would jam along to those recordings a lot, so I think that infused itself into this record and these recordings a lot. It's just much tighter. The guitar is more rhythmic bass. The vocal pattern has a lot more going on too. So I think there's also, with the constant hi-hat, it gives me a freedom to not always have to play. So especially at the beginning of the first verse, I'm doing more of a... So I'm over-exaggerating a little bit. I probably added some more there when I was playing along. And it's different playing along with the recording with an existing bass line than playing a rehearsal versus playing it live. Those are all different iterations which I approach differently because they're different spaces. So yeah, I think playing with space, this is a good opportunity for double stops too. So I'm doing the 10th there up to the 3rd on top. This brings in like some Jocko type stuff for me too, like a lot of dead notes, which is also like Rocco Franco Prestia, Tower Power. Am I saying his name right? It's not Rocco. Rocky. I forget. It's escaping right now. There's a lot of opportunity for that, and we have some fun kind of clavinet style keys that Kevin Wong played on this, which I'm definitely playing off of too. So I'm deadening the strings a lot more. And there's opportunity for some like faster riffs. I think I did something more like something like that. So that's kind of outlining more like a major pentatonic scale on the A major. And then I can climb down. That's an interesting transition because if I go A and I want to come down to G, there's a chromatic walk down opportunity there. Okay, let's keep playing.
Town. He said he'd show me his home someday, but his rocket ship broke down. So long, sweet world. We both screamed our lungs out as we left the galaxy. So long, sweet world. We both screamed our lungs out as we left the galaxy. Well, I named him Ted the Monster. He had eyeballs on his hands. He saw Earth as a nice vacation, but we both had bigger plans. We looked up and down to find some kind.
Okay, so let's look at a little of that. Again, yeah, making use of open strings on the chorus there. And there's a fun breakdown at the beginning of, I believe this is the second verse. So the guitars drop out and John goes just to hi-hat, which I'm kind of playing off in like the, I think Dan takes like a slightly higher descending melody line there, so I'm playing off of that. So at the end of that chorus, the last time, I'm kind of up more the 12th fret, and I'm walking up to get up to the start of the riff of the verse. No, actually I don't have this fret on acoustic bass guitar, but it starts on the octave G, double octave, and it walks down over the course of the beginning of the second verse. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm not playing exactly what's on the recording, which I never did. Like this is all, I practiced a lot going into the sessions, but there's still a lot of improvisation going in even on the studio recordings to really feel what's good in the moment. what aligns with the other tracks. So that's a fun walk down. Starts on G, F sharp, and then you can really, because at this point we're now going to the A major chord, so like G, D, which I'm doing the major third F sharp, and now I'm on the A, and that's all A. There's our official harmonic for you. And then we need to get back to G. So I'm going G. So I don't know if I like ending on G right now. So it could end on the B too, because I want to get back to a G major note. Nice solid. Maybe something like that. Again, this is probably the practice I would use, to come up with the line for the studio recording. So now we're D, and then there's a fun little riff here. We go just for a second. We leave the chord progression and we stay on A7 for a minute. So to lead into that, I do a little flamenco style fix. So I'm using my cuticles on these first. I guess I'm using all three of these fingers, and I'm just outlining the A, C sharp, and G of a A7 chord. So it goes, walks down, something like that. Again, I still don't quite like how that line's sitting. And I would sing it too, because this is really a counter melody line to what Dan's doing. And then for a minute we drop into A7 for a couple beats, and it's just an instrumental groove. So again, that walk down to G. That's not exactly what I'm doing. I don't quite like that. Or it's close. It's moving in the right direction. So this is very JB's. And with some Jocko in there, really deadening the strings with my right hand. And this is all on A7. See, it's already better once I start vocalizing it. More of a connection. And I think it just goes back into the verse. So let's play a little more, and then it's more of the same of the parts that we've already heard. So we'll close up shop here, and yeah.
If the special was to launch, we had to fix a broken fuse. So we grabbed ourselves a hammer, found the pocket knife and tool, and we fixed old Teddy's rocket with some gum and Elmer's glue. Then said, look, now's the time. We'll leave these earthlings and they'll be fine. But before we go, we should sing this goodbye song. So long, sweet world.
So I should emphasize a couple of things. There's sometimes on songs Dan will do some really specific rhythmic accents. So he does that at the end of that verse. Dee dee ba-dum, 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 ba-da-da boom, da-da-gung-gung-gung back out. So I'm going to play off of that. Again, which doesn't have to be mimicking exactly, but I'm like hearing that and I want to interact with it. So it'd be like, da-da-boom, and at the end of each verse, going into the chorus, Haircut Chris does a great like guitar swelling thing, and the lyric there is about a rocket ship, so I'm hearing this rising thing. We have the A and the open A. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of elevate both those, what Chris is doing on the guitar effects and what Dan is singing about lyrically there. And you'll notice like playing those notes on the A string or on the G string versus on the D string. Totally different feels. Again, there's not one that's better than the other. It's what fits the song better, and I like this sound. this is all stuff that Jocko pioneered with doing Blackbird, the Beatles song, on electric bass. Yeah, I don't remember the rest from there, but that's all. This is all A major stuff. So I'm really just trading third and fifth or roots. There's an F sharp. Get a little sus chord in there. So that's really fun stuff to play with and have comfortable on your fingers to use in spaces like this. Yeah, and there's more chorus stuff, and I think that's it. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on this song today. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.